Okay, let's look at one type of story problem that you might see involving a quadratic equation in the end that you need to solve. I'll give you a second to read this problem. Grab a red pen. All right, so we have a picture, a rectangular picture. It's 3 times as long as it is wide. Watch that when you're reading a story problem like this. We're comparing the length to the width. When I compare that length to the width, I let my variable x represent the width. Because I'm comparing length to that, the length is 3 times as long as this. So if x is the width of the picture and this is 3 times as long, I would say that the length, therefore, is represented by the expression 3x. Now, they tell us that the area of the picture is 588 square inches. This is what we mean by the area of this picture, and we're saying that its area is 588 square inches. Do you remember what the formula is for the area of a rectangular object? Area of a rectangular object. You take your length and you multiply it by your width. My length is 3x. So I'm going to take 3x and multiply it by my width, x, and I'm going to set that equal to my area of 588. And then I got to clean this up, and I'm kind of going, wow, I solved these problems by factoring, and I've been using what's called the zero product rule. So if you allow me to not show this step, because I'm going to run out of space, I'm going to subtract 588 from both sides, but I'm not going to write that step down. So I'll have the 3x squared on the left, and now I'll have a minus 588 on the left. There is another approach to this problem, but I'm going to focus on solving it by factoring. And the greatest common factor in this expression is a 3, and 3 goes into 588. I believe it goes in 196 times. And so now I'm kind of wondering if this is the difference of squares. Because when I factor 2 terms, the only thing I've done so far is it has a minus sign, and I wonder if that's a perfect square. Would you get your calculator out and see what the square root of 196 is? Square root of 196, I believe that is 14. So this expression factors into x plus 14 and x minus 14. Now remember, the zero product rule says set only the factors that contain the variable equal to 0. So I'm going to set this x plus 14 equal to 0. And I'll subtract 14 from both sides. And one of my solutions is a negative 14. I'm going to set the x minus 14 equal to 0, and I'll add 14 to both sides. And the other solution is a positive 14. Now, x represented the width of my picture. You can't have a negative width for an object. You can't have a negative 14 as a solution to this problem. You have to choose the positive value. So we'd come over here and we would say then that the width of this photo is going to be 14 inches, and then the length would be 3 times 14, which is 42 inches. So here's my length, and here is my width. And you know, as a final check, we do know that this is 3 times that. But you could get your calculator out, and you can multiply 42 times 14, that is the length and the width, to see if that's equal to the 588. And I checked it. I'm quite certain that it is. And that's another way to be sure that we did this problem correctly.